Yeah, I thought he was actually. Nah, don't worry. You didn't hear me.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh shit.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
All right. Anyway, so what's up, everybody? This is Art Banaka. So all right.
Oh my god.
So I'm still in Poland, and well, anyway, so I was checking out O'Shea's podcast earlier, and the whole talk about you know black men going back to Africa and investing and actually bringing something back to the motherland, doing a whole bunch of crazy shit. So it was actually very interesting. There was a lot of good key point that was been going on over there as far as investment when it comes to ABL talking points and so on and so forth. But this is not what the podcast. This is not what this podcast is about. My the question that I pose to this podcast is if black men decide to actually go to Africa and actually invest, who will actually have the most to lose out of black men going to Africa, going back to the motherland and actually investing there? It's black women. Think about it, all right? Because I know there's this huge I know there's this huge flag. There's this huge controversy whenever a black man decide to actually go interracial dating. I see it more of a as an intercultural dating, so on and so forth. But when you go into the African women, when you go into Africa and you go and invest over there, you're actually investing not just your resources, but also your time. And you're gonna be exposed, and you're gonna be exposed to a lot of African booty. The motherfucker if you're gonna go over there, right, and help build Africa, are you truly now gonna actually have the time to build your own community? Because a lot of problem that African American usually say that is black men is not building the community. Black men, we're not putting the effort to actually invest in our own community. But if you actually taking that time now and those resources to invest in Africa, you're gonna encounter African culture. You're gonna encounter the femininity of African women. You're gonna be exposed to a lot of shit that's let me fucking be blunt here. They're willing to do a lot more shit in order to actually keep you. They were gonna give you a lot more incentive. They're gonna suck your dick. They're gonna be more feminine. They are trained in a culture to which that they can be wives. And not just in a way that you just gonna put a ring on it. And granted, there's gonna be gold diggers no matter where the fuck you go. But it's a whole new different level now because the African cultures are not adapting the good men in Black America. Because the Pookies and the Ray Rays, the Two Gun Mike, they're not gonna go over there in Africa and build shit. They don't even want to fucking live their own neighborhood. And the men that's actually gonna leave the African American culture are the men that actually willing to build. They are the go-getters. They are those actually able to drive and build something for themselves. So now the question is, how you gonna be able to classify those men? Will they be seen as coons and traitors who actually not quote unquote saving the community? Because you can't call them, you can't say that they hate themselves. Your mama's black, because unfortunately they're getting themselves to the black woman. So you can no longer use the shaming tactic and say that, you hate your mama because you getting with African American, you getting with African chick now, not an African American woman, but an African chick. So what the fuck is your excuse now? Because if you're willing to, if those men, right? Because the talk in the panel was African Americans needs to actually invest in Africa. Yeah, you're gonna invest your resources, but you're gonna fuck these girls over there too. You're gonna create a family over there too. And you might end up falling in love with the culture to the point that your kids are not going to raise with an African American mindset. They're going to be raised with a Ghanaian mindset. They're going to be raised with a Kenyan mindset, so on and so forth. So they're not building shit for the community. So now, what the fuck is going to be your excuse for these men actually leaving the African American community and actually getting with the African communities, the African cultures? It's not benefiting you in any sort of way, because the excuse for a lot of these simps is when they actually come across someone in an interracial relationship or intercultural relationship, because this has more to do with skin color. That's what the fuck I try to tell you guys. It has a lot more to do with skin color, has a lot to do with personalities and culture. And Black men being exposed to different culture is gonna give them an incentive to actually not having to go back home to where they have to struggle, to have to fight to get their fucking ways. And the people that's gonna go over there are the builders, the men that the African American needs to stay in that community. These are the ones that's gonna go to Africa and actually invest in Africa with African women. So, because the African woman would actually have something to bring to the table, whether it's their culture, because you're gonna need somebody on the ground that knows the shit. Let's say that you get yourself with a, okay, name a country that don't speak English, right? So then that woman will be able to help you translate. It will actually help you build, because it's not just benefiting you, also benefiting her and her culture. So the African American woman is the biggest loser in that scenario. I mean, am I wrong here to actually, to bring that up? Because that's why one of the reasons why African American women tend to actually give Black men a whole lot of flags whenever they go into Brazil, when they go into Dominican Republic. They want to say, oh, you're just gonna go over there to fuck these women. True. It might start off that way, because any relationship with a chick start with sex. I mean, shit, you gotta test drive a car before you buy it. But at the same time, when you realize that, oh shit, this car not only can get me from A to B, it's reliable. And yes, I know I'm just treating women like object right now, but fuck it. Bear with me here, right? So you get yourself a nice, reliable car that you can actually not only just get from A to B, that's reliable. So are you gonna fucking trade that in for the sake of the community? The Black community that we all try to save and all that shit. So therefore, you motherfuckers are fucked. You are literally don't know what the fuck you want. And for those who want to talk shit about these Black men are leaving their community and shit like that, you're gonna have to deal with this batch of Black men as well that's gonna leave that community. So all messages are visible. Sorry, I gotta check out my fucking live stream, my messages and shit. The fuck, I can see it. But anyways, so that's pretty much what I had in mind when it comes to this whole going back to Africa and build. You can do it. I mean, shit, you should. Whenever you actually have investment opportunity, take it. Take that shit. But now you're also going to have to face with the consequences, because the logic is not going to make sense when they come at you. The logic is going to be that you're still going to be seen as a race traitor. You're still going to be viewed as someone who left his people behind. They're still going to throw all that shit at you because you're not building for them. Any culture would rather actually have men come into them than actually having men leaving them. Hence why, hence the whole flag whenever a Black man get into an interracial relationship with a white woman. And the African American community regard it as a huge loss for them because they know deep down, regardless how much they actually used to diss that person, as if like, square, you are whatever the fucking case may be. They know that deep down, they lost somebody valuable. And now you can no longer use the race excuse anymore when the motherfucker decides to get with an African. So you're going to have to face that problem, that shit. It's you. At the end of the day, if as a group, as a fucking group, I'm not, because there are always going to be exceptions to the rules. But I'm talking about as a group, if you cannot get your shit together, right? And you spend most of your life talking about these niggas ain't shit, these niggas ain't doing nothing for the community, these niggas ain't doing this, doing that. And then they actually succeed in Africa, they thrive in Africa. That just show that it's you. You're the one that's actually the common denominator. Now, with that being said, is you want that shit to change, then you have to start the change from within. You want the men to stay in the community, then you have to give them incentive to stay in the community. And all that talk about, going invest in Africa, ladies, if you know what the fuck is good for you, I'm talking about black women. If you know what the fuck is good for you, you better start screaming against that shit now. Because once brothers start going to Africa, they actually get their passport ready. Then they have the entrepreneurial spirit within them, and they actually start making moves down in Africa. Your ass is gone. You fucked. Because women are not risk takers like men. They're not gonna go in Africa like in huge numbers and actually try. Yeah, they will go over there, check it out, go with their girlfriends, try to show up. We American women, we're here to all that fuckery. But as far as going over there and take risk, and you might lose a shitload of money on a bad investment, women are not gonna do that. So. And for the men being exposed to those culture and they're getting their money right there and their investment is working, so on and so forth, yes, they will end up with those African women. And all you're going to have left will be the Pookies, the Ray Rays, and Two Gun Mikes. You can't forget about Two Gun Mikes. But anyway, this is going to be a short one. Why the fuck? I can't see the fucking... You know what? All right, fuck it. I'm still new at this shit. Forgive me, guys. If y'all left in the comments, I can't see it right now. But anyway, Art Banaka, this has been a short one. And I'm out. Peace. How the fuck you in this shit up? I don't know.